taking the boat out. This is where misunderstanding can lead to calamity and yelling. When I asked a good friend of mine about his boat, he said, "Well, I sold it." My wife claimed every time we take the boat out, you yell at me. My friend said, I thought it was because she couldn't hear me, not because she didn't understand me. In order to have a safe, fun boating experience, it's important that we are able to communicate and have a general idea of what's going on. When vessels are not in use, they are tied up so they can't get away. When they get away, they are underway. And when they're moving in any direction, they have way on. And away we go. The vessel can be tied to a mooring, which is a permanent anchoring system with a buoy attached. It can be tied to a pier, which is on pilings and sticks out into the water. It can be tied to a wharf that's attached to the land, or it can be tied up to a dock, which floats and goes up and down with the tide. No matter which of these the vessel's attached to, the lines that tie it up are called mooring lines. The mooring lines have names that coincide with their position on the boat and what they do. Now, if the spring lines are attached forward of amidships, the middle of the boat, they are called forward spring lines. If they are attached aft of amidships, they are called aft spring lines. If this bothers you, you may be susceptible to motion sickness, something we should take into account before we go boating. The bow and stern lines keep the boat from floating away from the dock. The spring lines keep the vessel from surging forward and aft along the dock. The attachment points on both the dock and the vessel come in different shapes and sizes. The most common is a cleat, and we use a cleat hitch to secure the line to the cleat. There are also bitts and bollards, and there are different hitches that we use on those. We have other videos on knot tying and boat handling. Terminology is what this video is about. As we prepare to get underway, one of the first things we do is single up. To single up, we remove all the extra mooring lines except for the few we need to make a safe escape. As we do this, we are casting off the lines, as per their name and instructions from the operator. The bow line is cast off, and then the forward spring line. In this case, we're going to stand by the stern line in case we need it to pull the stern around. Before the vessel is put into gear, the operator commonly asks if it's all clear. This is the time to look around to be sure the power cord has been disconnected and that all other lines are clear. Now, we need to get into this whole fender thing. They could have called them bumpers, but that wouldn't have been confusing enough. They call them fenders, even though they don't keep the mud off your back. They work just like a bumper. They protect the dock from the boat from the dock, and the boat from the other boat. They use all kinds of things for fenders. Old tires, knotted up rope. You really shouldn't use life jackets. The most common are the inflatable fenders. They come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, and should be taken off and stowed as soon as the boat's underway. If they are left out, they do become bumpers, bumping against the topsides. This also makes the boat and its crew a target for ridicule. People are so mean. The person steering the boat is the helmsman, regardless of gender. They are at the helm, no matter if it's a ship's wheel, a tiller, or any other mechanism that steers the vessel. There are positions on the boat to convey where things are. Dead ahead, off the port or starboard bow, forward the beam, abaft the beam, port and starboard quarters, and astern. Oh, there's one more piece of misleading terminology you might run across when the boat comes back in. Fend off does not mean pull the fenders in. In fact, exactly the opposite. A fender should be placed between the boat and whatever it's going to collide with. It is very important that no part of you gets used as a fender. No one need get in harm's way. No leaping and jumping is necessary. And yelling only attracts the wrong kind of attention. Boating is a lot of fun if you don't get too serious. These videos are made possible by efforts through the Maritime Preservation Trust. Your contributions and support make these videos possible. Please don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, and become a member of the Maritime Preservation Trust.